And now it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, Corey Sandin, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Royal Polaris, the world's finest long-range sports fisher. By Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup, and Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and Corey Sandin.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. I'm Pete Gray with Rock Cod Rick Maxa. We're in the world headquarters of Let's Talk Hookup here, right next to the San Diego Landings, an empty San Diego Landings here in Point Loma. And we have a couple of great guests here, Tommy Gomes and Scott Leysath, the sporting chef. They are from the Fishmonger and a lot of other stuff, too. You stay tuned. This is going to be a great show. Stay tuned to Southern California's sport fishing voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app on the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio. The future comes standard at your San Diego County Ford dealers, so swing on by and check out the legendary Ford F-150, the smart and capable Ford Ranger, and the all-new Ford Bronco Sport. New inventory is arriving daily, and your San Diego County Ford dealer is here to help you build and order the truck or SUV of your dreams. Want to make sure you get the right truck to tow your boat? They'll help you order the right configuration to meet your needs. Want to make sure you get the right SUV to haul your gear on your next adventure? They've got you covered there too. Escape, Edge, Bronco Sport, Explorer, and Expedition. They've got the SUV that's perfect for you. If it isn't on the lot, they'll order it and get you exactly what you need. They want your trade, so swing by your nearest San Diego County Ford dealer or visit buyfordnow.com to see all the great deals. They'll be glad to hook you up.
You've heard all about it. You know the anglers catching fish have it, so what's holding you back? It's a fact. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. FishDope.com is the only fish finding service with a spotter plane along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. You can get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Martin Island, 365 days a year. FishDope.com is for everyone, whether you have your own boat, fish on your friend's boat, or a sport boat. FishDope.com has online planning tools, moon phase, tides, hot bite icons, and more. So bottom line is, if you don't have FishDope.com, well, you're probably missing a lot of bites. Membership costs less than $50 of gas, and that's for the entire year. That's right, 1 year. What a bargain. Plus, use the special code to save $20 on a new FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup, man. Today's going to be a great show. I'm really looking forward to this. It's going to be a lot of fun.
There's a guy sitting right next to us that has a lot of stories.
No doubt. Buddy.
Tommy Gomes. Good morning, Tommy.
Good morning.
Tommy is, and Scott Leysath, the sporting chef. Good morning. Do you ever hear a story or two from Tommy?
You ever hear the same one twice?
We got you, Scott.
It looks like we're working on the
technical connection there with Scott Leysath. Of course, we know him as the sporting chef, and Tommy, you know him as like the producer, right?
Yeah. Scott's been Scott and I did a lot of stuff at with Fred Hall.
Yeah,
at Fred Hall shows,
sure.
and in between shows, it would be. He and I and Gary would be in the back behind the curtain. It was like the Land of Oz.
Yeah, totally.
And
I duck back there once in a while, see what's going on.
Yeah, we had a lot of great stories and everything, and that Fishmonger was one of them.
Yeah, sure miss Gary Schiebler. Yeah, that guy is such a great guy, such a great talent.
Our team.
We play his music with my fishing partner Jim. We play his music when we're on the way to launch ramp.
Yeah,
that's cool. Trash.
Yeah, for sure.
It's the only CD that's in my tow vehicle.
That's cool. But so you spent a lot of time with Scott, and then how did this whole Fishmonger thing come around?
And what is Fishmonger?
It's a good question, and I appreciate that, because the fishmonger, it's not about me. It's about what it takes for your American commercial fishermen to bring good quality seafood to your table. And it's a shame that most of our seafood that is harvested by our U.S. flag boats is being exported. And we're importing lesser quality seafood.
Like our guys here fish for it and they send it away, and then what we have here we bring in. We need to reverse that.
Yeah, and a lot of fish is what they call IUU, illegal unreported, and it's not really a smoke and mirrors game, but it's just different. You could have a foreign flag vessel offload into a foreign country, 2 different countries. And wherever you offload, that becomes the country of origin. So if you pull up like a vessel locator app or one of the other apps, and you go down and you look at like Galapagos or Galapagos, however you want to pronounce it, and you look right along the buffer zone line, you'll see all these boats, lots of boats.
Okay.
And you're only going to see half because the other half turn off their AIS. And most of those boats are Chinese vessels, and they're coming into Central and South America, and they're offloading, and that becomes the country of origin.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it really is a shame. And one of the things that we talk about on the show is like knowing your source, ask questions, know where your seafood comes from, read the label. And I say this a lot. You read the label of what's in your dog and cat food, but you don't read the label of what you're putting in your own body.
Right.
And I'm not, look, man, we all like carne asada burritos. Okay, they're not going anywhere. But at least take a moment to read where your seafood's coming from.
Yeah.
And know, look up there in that upper right-hand corner, it says country of origin. And that's a big, big thing. It truly is, because another thing that I say is that if your seafood has more frequent flyer miles on it than your American Express or American Airlines credit card, then you're part of the problem.
Yeah. Hey, Scott is back. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning. I think we're okay now.
There he is. Yeah. So the first question was stories. I mean, you ever get a story or two from Tommy?
I've spent the better part of the last 2 years on the road with Tommy, and when you think you've heard it all, you haven't heard it all. We have several seasons ahead of us. I mean, we're already locked in for next year and beyond, and so
that's awesome.
I'm learning a whole lot on this Fishmonger show. Let me tell you, there's things I didn't know. There's things I wish I didn't know about the fishing industry. But that's why we're here to tell the story.
So now, who came up with this concept?
Well, it started, Tommy had asked me to moderate a group of commercial fishermen, do a roundtable thing, and then put it on YouTube or something along those lines. And I said, why don't we see if we can get a bigger audience? So I pitched the concept to Outdoor Channel, and since I've already, been doing it, and it was like 6 weeks later, hey, guess what? You got a show. So,
kidding.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It normally doesn't happen that fast, although our latest show, Ranch America, we pitched on a Wednesday and we got the green light on Monday. We're working on that, and that'll start late January on Outdoor Channel. But the Fishmonger was so well received by Outdoor, they said this is the kind of programming that we want. And the show airs internationally, too. It's not just in the U.S. So, it's a broader audience. I'm all about the people that want to watch fishing every week and doing all that. I mean, that's great, but we're looking for something a little bit broader. And I'm tired of cooking, so this is a much better show.
And cool. You've got a lot going on between your other show, Dead Meat, and then you've got a podcast going on, and then you're starting another new show. My gosh, Scott.
Well, we've got Sporting Chef. Actually, I have a new host. After hosting the Sporting Chef show, I've got somebody else. We just shot all of that in Alabama with Stacey Harris, this very southern, pretty gal that's been on the show for the last 10 years. She's the new host of Sporting Chef. It moves to Outdoor Channel in September. Wow. Dead Meat picks back up on Sportsman and Outdoor in the fall. Then we've got Ranch America that starts in January, and then Fishmonger, the new season, will be back on next April.
What is Ranch America?
Ranch America is like Fishmonger, except it's all about kind of ranching cattle. You know, I got to admit, we are using the Yellowstone popularity.
That's okay.
But it's about what it takes to put beef on the table, as opposed to like we're doing with the Fishmonger. Awesome. And so we've got roping and cowboys and rodeos and ranching and branding and gathering and all that kind of cool stuff.
Yeah, well, the cool thing is, Tommy, you're like a total natural at this whole thing, right? I mean, it probably didn't take a lot of prodding to get Tommy to do the gig, right?
No, but he is the natural at it. I mean, I can't host the Fishmonger. I don't know anything about that stuff. So I know it's like Tommy being a computer guy.
Yeah,
do you want to have Tommy come over and work on your computer? No.
Tommy's not a character.
Tommy, show him what you do when I give you a computer challenge.
I don't know what I don't know this stuff. I start waving my hands and everything. But you know, when we did the round table, we did it at the Portuguese Hall in honor of the tradition and heritage of the commercial fishermen here in San Diego, and I lined up on purposely guys that didn't all get along.
Okay.
And it was pretty interesting.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you grew up here. This is your heritage here. And, I mean, your family were all the commercial fishermen, right?
Yeah, we've been here in Point Loma for over 130 years.
130 years.
Well over that.
Wow. It's pretty amazing.
We've been around.
Portuguese?
You would think, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, I've seen a lot of changes down here on the sport fishing vessels and on the commercial fleet as well. But the show in general is basically, I'm just the host, you know, with the guidance of Scott and Jim Torres, and these guys are grooming me into a better host to get my story and the story that needs to be told about.
Don't blame us. Don't blame us.
Don't forget Dan Walsh too.
Oh, Dan is the greatest guy ever.
Yeah,
him and the dog Buddy. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
We're having such a good time. And I mean, I'm eating at Michelin star restaurants during the show. It's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
And it's not about me. It's about what it takes for families, small boat operations, to get good quality seafood to the lower 48 when we were in Alaska, and also all around the country. And it's important for America in general to know where your food comes from across the board, whether it's beef, chicken, or pork. And when it comes to wild seafood, you have to look at it like this. And it's kind of a mind blower when you do. Wild seafood is the only protein that we don't manufacture. We manufacture our cows, our pigs, our chickens. We manufacture all of that. Men and women across up and down each coast in the Gulf State, they lay it all on the line. And then they go out there and they do their best to fish sustainably and bring in good quality product. And they deserve to have their story told.
Yeah. So, what is the story, Scott? What kind of when the whole concept of Fishmonger came up? What's the story? I mean, for those who haven't watched Fishmonger yet, I've watched it. I know Ricky, you have too. What is the storyline?
You know, we want to tell the real story of what it takes to put seafood on American dinner tables. And like Tommy mentioned, so much of the seafood that we eat is imported, and then the stuff that we send out and then buy back that's imported. And, that's, you know, crazy. Things like the dockside market on Saturday, that's a cool story where people can come buy fish right off the boat. You know, the pandemic spurred a lot more of that on around the country, but we don't want to tell the story. We don't want to portray the commercial fishermen as complainers, because they're not. I mean, these guys, there's nothing that they would rather do than go out on the water and catch fish. And it's, you know, whether it's in Alabama or Boston or wherever, we're hearing the same story. And, one of the funny things, Tommy was talking about, he gets to eat in Michelin five-star restaurants. What we can't get Tommy to do, because he loves this food so much, we can't get him to take small bites. Whenever we're rolling, the thing that what I always tell Tommy is, I'll go, small bites, Tommy, small bites, and he's throwing bait, and he's jamming this fish into his craw, and then he can't talk. So that's one of the things we're working on with Tommy. Take small bites.
That's hilarious. Yeah, but it's good, right, Tommy?
It's delicious. We were in Bayou Battery and down in Mobile, and we were at a place that was, it's all fried food down there, and I never had sweet tea, and I was like, oh my God, this stuff is great. Right up until the lady told me you need to calm down a little bit on the sweet tea, because for every 5 gallons of water, we had 1 pound of sugar.
Oh, a pound.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and
it's
so
horrible.
my cholesterol's going through the roof. My sugar's going through the roof. And I'm like, oh, this is so good. And I asked for a salad, and they brought coleslaw. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I asked for a salad. And she's like, oh, bless your heart. And I'm like, I know what that means. I know what that means.
That's hilarious. So what is it like? I mean, pretty much you're not shooting this in the middle of the country. You're shooting this on coastal areas, because it's all about seafood, right?
Yeah, and I know this because I've fished for 7 different governments all around the world, and I've commercial fished everywhere. When it comes to the commercial fishermen, we're all the same. We might speak different languages and stuff, but and I'm throwing in guys that have licenses that run other type of vessels. Those that are working and making a living at sea, doesn't matter what kind of boat you're on, we're all the same. Mm-hmm. We're all the same guys. We just speak different languages.
Sure.
And we're learning. We're hearing the same stories, and like Scott said, nobody's really complaining, because they don't do that. But they just. It was time to get the word out and get the story out, because in some fisheries, here in California even, guys are getting the same price that they were getting 25, 30 years ago for their fish.
Jeez.
And, our labor's gone up, fuel's gone up, vessel insurance has gone up, permits have gone up, everything has gone up. And what people need to realize is that when they're buying American harvested seafood, is that fish right there that you just bought created jobs before that boat left. That fish has created jobs before it was even harvested. And then when it's brought in, it's creating jobs all the way to the end user, which is a dishwasher at the back of the house.
Yeah.
Think about that.
So do you need to educate restaurateurs, chefs to this? I mean, are chefs pretty in knowledge on that?
A lot of them are, but still it's tough, because they need, restaurants, you're lucky to keep a nickel for every dollar that comes in the door. Yeah. And it's all about margin, and it's all about, fish doesn't get better, the longer it sits,
right?
Unless you're dry aging, which is something super cool. So educating chefs, it's like rockfish. Our beautiful rockfish is delicious. I mean, come on, you guys go out and bang away at rockfish. Sure. You're like, oh yeah, and you want to eat a whole rockfish, but it's tough to go out to the rock cod buoy number 5 where the 1.5 pounders are and catch 500 pounds of those 1.5 pounders, because there's just no way.
Yeah.
But you can order a farmed fish like a Brazino at 1.5, 1.7 pounds and have it flown in halfway around the world, because that's a beautiful presentation on a plate, and you get the wow factor. But it doesn't work that way. And a lot of chefs, we have a chef, or a good friend of ours, Anthony, who has, Scott, how do you say his last name?
Sorry, I just got back on. I missed what you had just said. I dropped off the call again. Talk to me.
Anthony from Psycho Sushi. What's his last name? Because I know you're going to bust my eggs if I say it.
Pascal.
He buys more local seafood than any restaurant in town.
Really?
A little tiny sushi bar. He took foreign albacore off his menu and replaced it with the Opa. We did that Opa video.
Yeah, I remember that.
75 million views and counting.
Wow.
And so these, he buys more local seafood than any restaurant around. He's down at the docks every single day.
I'll tell you what bugs me something. You go to a restaurant, and of course we're kind of in the know about fish and stuff like that. So you ask the and the waiters sometimes maybe aren't as educated they should be. As I say, is this shrimp wild? I don't know.
Yeah.
Is this white sea bass you have on the menu true white sea bass, or is it Chilean sea bass?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That bugs me.
Well, you put sea bass in front of anything and it'll sell.
Right. Yeah.
And I mean, you called it right there, Chilean sea bass. Would you order that if it was called Patagonian toothfish?
Exactly. No, absolutely not.
So these are things that that the public needs to be aware of.
Yeah.
And
you're trying to educate people on the show to this, to be better consumers when they go to a restaurant, when they go to a fish market.
Yeah, you don't need to buy a whole lot. You just, 6-ounce pieces, man. That's all, 6 to 8 if you're really hungry. But, excuse me, seafood's a delicate thing. And when you're talking about farmed fish, okay, look, man, we got to feed the masses.
Yeah.
There's good and there's bad. Just like commercial fishing. There's good guys that are doing it. There's more good guys commercial fishing than there are bad. Unfortunately, the bad guys, one bad apple there does spoil the whole fleet.
Yeah.
Because then everybody gets hammered. But on the farmed fish, not all farmed fish is created equally. There's some great product out there. There's some stuff that is completely transparent as far as what they're feeding them. And a lot of companies aren't transparent. And so you need to know, for instance, that if you're eating a salmon that's farmed and it's being fed beef, chicken, or pork, or they're using a pig blood as a binding agent, you should know that just for health and religious reasons.
Yeah.
I mean, especially for religious reasons, you should know. But they're not talking about that.
Yeah.
And that's not on anybody's radar.
Yeah.
It's not on your Loran. It's not on your radar.
No.
It's not happening.
Yeah.
Because people just don't think about that unless you're heavily involved in the industry.
Well, I think it's great. And as you can hear, we have a great show lined up for you right now with Tommy and Scott. I want to hear Scott talk about eating beaver on his show Dead Meat. I mean, I watched that show. I was like, are you kidding me?
And you want to talk about things to cover and like knowledge of this world and fishing. It's just going to be, this is going to be awesome. We're going to have a lot of fun, so many fun stories, so much cool stuff to cover, and we want to hear from you. Phone lines are already damn near packed up this morning. It's going to be a very busy show. Everybody's excited to talk to Scott, talk to Tommy. If you want to join us this morning, we would love to hear from you. Give us a call at 213-432-1090. Again, 213-432-1090. That's how you reach us here on Let's Talk Hookup on the phones, or the hugely popular text the show option with Let's Talk Hookup. If you want to text the show, that's only available via the Let's Talk Hookup app. That's a totally free download. Not only is it the way to text the show, but also a great way to listen to the show. You can catch up on all the archives and listen anywhere that you have a signal anytime you want, 24 hours a day on your way home. If you missed the first half of the show with Tommy and Scott, you can fire it up and listen while you're getting your way through traffic. Going to be a great time this morning, talking all kinds of fun, and we are giving away a killer prize. One lucky caller at the end of the show today is going to get to go fishing on a full-day trip on board the Liberty at a Fisherman's Landing. You're going to get to fish with Taro and Anibal and get in on some of this great fishing going on the Liberty, both yellowtail fishing down at the islands, offshore fishing for bluefin. There's so much great opportunity, and you're going to get to go if you're the lucky winner at the end of the show today, whether it be a caller or a texter. And how we decide that, at the end of the show, every text that makes it onto the air, every phone call that makes it onto the air, they all go onto a list. We're going to have Tommy flip a coin at the end of the show, and that's going to designate whether the winner comes from the caller side or the texter. And if you're the lucky guy or gal, you're going fishing on the Liberty at a Fisherman's Landing. Super cool. Hey, when we come back, we got a lot of Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. We got your phone calls, we got catch reports, and a lot of information with the boys. You stay tuned. You're listening to Southern California's sport fishing voice. This is Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
Rock Cod Rick here to tell you about Parker Boats and guys at West Coast Marine. By now, you all know my boat partner and I bought a new 25 Parker center console from crew at West Coast Marine in Costa Mesa. We've known for a long time that a Parker was the boat for us. It's a stout workhorse of a boat built to last and get you home when the seas get rough. Parker Boats at the launch ramp, the offshore tuna grounds. You wake up in the morning on an overnight trip and there they are. Parker Boats of all sizes, fish fishing in the same areas as the sporties. There's a good reason for it: fishability and seaworthiness. West Coast Marine has several new parkers in stock and ready for delivery, and they have more on the way. Don't get caught without a reliable boat when fishing is this good. Take it from me, if you're ready for a new parker at a fair, upfront, and honest deal, you need to see West Coast Marine. Check out the inventory and information at westcoastmarine.com.
Let's talk candidly about long-range fishing. This is Captain Frank DePresti of the Royal Polaris and the Shogun. Nowhere on Earth will you find a fleet of long-range boats like we have in San Diego. We are fortunate to have several top-notch operations to take you to the most productive fishing grounds in the world. We all offer good food, comfortable staterooms, huge bait capacity, and top-of-the-line fish-finding electronics. So why would you choose the Royal Polaris or the Shogun for your next long-range trip? What sets us apart from the rest? It's pretty simple. The boats, the crew, and service. From the moment you arrive at Fisherman's Landing, the service begins. We help you load your gear and do everything possible to get beginners or seasoned veterans ready to catch fish. When it's time to fish, the Royal Polaris and the Shogun have the edge there too, delivering the two best fishing platforms in the fleet. But don't take my word for it. Come fishing with us. If you want the best, it's Royal Polaris and the Shogun. For more information, call 619-226-8030 or on the web at royalpolarissportfishing.com or shogunsportfishing.com.
As the inventor and world leader in fluorocarbon, Seagar has you covered with 4-liter choices to help you catch more fish. Gold Label is Seagar's thinnest and strongest leader. Fluoro Premier has a thin diameter with high break strength and softness. Blue Label is tough as nails with incredible abrasion resistance and impact strength. And Pink Label is the choice for tough light conditions. From 2 pounds to 400 pounds, pick up a spool of Seagar at your favorite tackle dealer or visit seagar.com. For your next fishing adventure, check Point Loma Sport Fishing. They offer half-day trips on the Daily Double and full-day trips on the Mission Bell every day. Perfect for novice or seasoned fishermen. Point Loma Sport Fishing also offers overnight to multi-day trips on the American Angler, Vagabond, Intrepid, Independence, Loan, T-Bird, Game Changer, and more. Visit PointLomaSportFishing.com where you can purchase tickets online. Want to go fishing? Point Loma Sport Fishing has you covered.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning, talking fun, talking fishing, talking fishmonger. It's going to be a great day, and man, we're really looking forward to hearing from you. Again, if you want to join us, phones are packed up, but 213-432-1090. That's your shot to get through.
Texts are starting to fire through here. Text the show only through the Let's Talk Hookup app, and getting some great texts here. So keep those texts coming, keep those phone calls coming. Let's go ahead and jump into the phone.
You got it. How about we started off this morning with Arnie calling us from Vista. Good morning, Arnie. Thanks for getting us started here on Let's Talk Hookup.
Morning, Pete, Ricky, Tommy, and Scott. Great to hear you guys on the air. First thing I'd like to say, Tommy, I am so happy to see you get tuned and all fired up, man. I know it's been a long time coming. You've been working on this for a while. I'm so happy for you, brother. You have gone a long journey to get here, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for the support, man, and the kind words. It's definitely a little bit of rough weather along the way, but we're good now.
That's something we haven't talked about. What Tunaville? Tell us about it.
Just a local fish market that we're supporting our local fishermen. Mitch Conniff over at Mitch's Seafood, and we've partnered up with commercial fishermen and some of the guys that we all grew up with. I mean, you know, we're just trying to get it all together.
That's cool. And when does it open?
Yeah, good question.
Soon.
Yeah, soon. Hopefully within the next couple of weeks. I mean.
Yeah. All right. It's been a long haul.
Yeah. It's been fun, though.
Yeah, that's cool. Arnie, go ahead, Arnie.
And secondly, hey, you know, when the Fred Hall shows come back next year, are you and Scott going to come back and do your Sporting Chef Kitchen? Because I tell you what, of all the things at Fred Hall, it is one of the most fun things to see and be at. I tell you what, I'd never miss it when I go to Fred Hall.
You know, we're going to play it by ear. I know Scott is extremely busy now with his television production shows. He's now producing shows and stuff. And I mean, I'm up for it. We'll see what happens down the road and go from there, you know.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm going to have time for that. You know, I did it, I think, for 19 years at the Fred Hall show. I remember the first year in Del Mar, I was out in a little pop-up deal, and it was pouring down rain, and the question I got asked most often was, can I get a Budweiser?
Yeah.
So I put a lot of miles on the Fred Hall show, and we really had a good time.
Yeah.
And obviously we all miss Schiebler. That was a a big loss for us. But I'm not doing the shows so much anymore. I'm old and worn out, and I'm a producer now.
You're a big Hollywood producer now, yeah. I remember the day when he used to come into our studio and cook for us, right? Alive on the air. I mean, I remember those days.
I would have never tried rattlesnake sausage if it wasn't for Scott Leysath.
Right? That was good.
I had a lot more free time then.
Yeah,
and I really thought I would be fishing and hunting more for pleasure now. I went out and fished Pyramid Lake last Monday.
Oh, wow.
And that's the first time I've done any, fun fishing without cameras for a long time. And while I'm on the boat, the captain's taking pictures of me sleeping. So I still can't get away from the camera.
Did you catch a big one?
Yeah, several. We got about 15, in the 8 to 12 category. Those Lahontan cutthroats, all on plastic swim baits, no trolling. It was a whole lot of fun.
Oh, that's such a blast up there when it's biting. It's a really cool deal. Hey, Arnie, while you're on the line, I want to say a big get well soon to Cowboy. I know you've been instrumental in helping Cowboy out here, and last weekend at the live remote at Dana Landing and such. And Cowboy had a fall, and he's been in the hospital. He's still in the hospital, but he's on the road to recovery, right, Arnie?
Yes, he is. And everybody say a prayer for Cowboy. And I'm sure I don't think he has a radio in his room this morning, but I'm sure that Layla will bring a phone so he can listen to the podcast, and everybody give a big shout out and get well to Cowboy. We all love him.
Yeah, no doubt, Cowboy. Get better.
Get better. And thank you, Arnie, for all your help and assistance with taking care of our friend Cowboy, for sure. You're really a saint, for sure. And we appreciate it very much. Hey, thanks a lot for the call. Before I forget, I was watching, I just kind of catching up, doing a little field research for doing the show today, and I wanted to watch some episodes of Dead Meat. And I watched this, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but this episode that you did when you went out beaver hunting, and then you caught the beaver, and then you ate the beaver. And the question I want to ask you, Scott, is when the guy said that they have to cook it really heavily because it's so full of parasites, was that really appetizing to you?
And it's trichinosis. And what's a little trichinosis between friends, right? You just want to make sure you don't want to eat a rare beaver. You want to make sure that you cook it all the way. And you guys can quit snickering in the studio because I know it's involuntary, but we even made a beaver tail soup. If you take a beaver tail and you blister it over an open flame like you do with a bell pepper, scrape that off, chunk it up, make it into a stew. It's really good. It's like fatty beef. But yeah, you want to make sure not to eat an undercooked beaver.
Yeah,
sure. Everybody knows that.
It just,
that's old news.
I'm just telling you. My thought when some guy says, "Well, you really got to cook it well because it's full of parasites." It's like, okay, I'm out.
Yeah, well, that sounds great.
Well, okay. You've seen what happens when you're processing a halibut, right?
Yeah.
And, they can be a little wormy as well, but we still eat halibut. Tell me, what are those worms that come off the halibut? Yeah. What is that?
That's value added in a fish market.
Yeah. And
no extra charge.
And also, Yellowtail, too, can have parasites, right? There's tuna and everything.
How about Wahoo and Swordfish? Like two things that people would claim are some of the best eating fish that come out of the ocean. Those are two of the most parasitic-ridden fish that we have. Have you ever cut a wahoo?
I don't know, man. We've cut some boccaccios open.
Yeah. But here's the thing, is like if you eat some parasites out of the ocean, they're probably maybe going to do a little something to you. But if you start eating trichinosis, it's like, come on.
That'll go right through you.
Yeah.
Well, and so the trichinosis, you got to worry about bear, beaver. So we were on the Dead Meat Show. We were in Minnesota, and we had a 480-pound bear, black bear, or something like that. they cooked me the black bear liver, which was one of the worst things I've eaten on dead meat so far.
Oh, really?
And then, and I don't like liver in general. I'm just not. I mean, chicken livers, sure, but four-legged animal livers, not so much.
Yeah.
And it was really bad. And then I went to the Minnesota DNR website after that, and they said, whatever you do, don't eat the bear liver because it's toxic B vitamins levels or something like that. So if you're going to Minnesota, don't eat the bear liver.
And you did, right?
Well, you know, on the show, I'm not eating a big plate of anything unless it's really good. If, you know, I'm not going to sit down and have a giant pile of armadillo. I'm going to take a bite of armadillo and go, and I'll tell you what it tastes like. And if it doesn't taste good, I don't want to offend the people that have served it to me, so I normally just give kind of a sideways glance to the camera, and people know, oh, he didn't like that.
He didn't like that, yeah. Remember, Scott, small bites.
Right, Tommy?
Yeah, small bites.
That's cool. Well, hey, with that said, we're going to find out what's going on the water. It's time to check in with Richard Castaneda from Cast Tours for our Baja and Mainland Catch Report. Today's sponsored by Dana Landing on Mission Bay, your one-stop shop for everything that you need to go fishing. A complete saltwater tackle shop, a full deli. They have snacks, beverages, ice, and boating supplies. And when it comes to freshwater tackle, check out East County Bait and Tackle and the brand new Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle, full of all the freshwater tackle and live bait that you need for a great day on the lake. Dana Landing is right across from SeaWorld, next to the Dana Lawn Tramp in Mission Bay. East County Bait and Tackle, they're at the end of the 67 freeway at Mapleview and Lakeside, and the new Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle, they're on Broadway and Lemon Grove. Check DanaLanding.com for more info. We got the cast man, Richard Castaneda, standing by. Buenos dias, Cass.
Buenos dias, Ricky. Hey, good show. It's good to hear Scott, you know, from the days of the Fred Hall shows, and now he's a famous person.
Yeah, big-time producer, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. That's great. Anyway, hey, Pete, we finally got those dates set for the Loretto Rumble next April, 16 to 20. I've got 25 rooms and 25 boats reserved, and I think we've got about 8 rooms left.
Wow.
So,
and we should just announce
for next year.
Yeah. Like most of the people, most people are coming back that we've got. And so far, I would imagine probably in the next couple of weeks we'll probably have that thing sold out for next year. But it's such a great trip. And
it is. But so get on it if you want to go with us. Get on it now. It's and that's a little earlier, and the reason we picked that a little earlier is because the moon and then the race that came through while we were down there was kind of disruptive. But it's actually a better time for Yellowtail, right, Castman?
Oh yeah, definitely. And what we're talking about the Yellowtail, the Loretto Fish Report. They got the first Dorado of the season here this past week.
Wow.
Danny Talamantes, our charter master down there, emailed me, and so the Dorado are coming, and it should be a great Dorado season down there during the next couple of months. But the Yellowtail bite's still on. More Cabrillo showing up in the count, and they've had some really strong currents, but things, they're remaining fairly good fishing down in Loretto for the Yellowtail and the Cabrillo, but those Dorado are coming. Good news for the people down in San Jose del Cabo, the East Cape area, and Cabo San Lucas, those banks inside the Sea of Cortez now. The tuna are back in. Most of the fish, 20 to 30 pounds. There was a good Wahoo mix in there also. They were pretty aggressive. The sardinas, which have kind of been absent, have made a showing, and they're using some sardinas for bait. And of course, the billfish, this is peak time for striped marlin there on the East Cape and San Jose del Cabo. Those fish have moved around from the Pacific side and now into the Sea of Cortez. So look for some really, really good striped marlin fish on the guys who want to go fish marlin. This month, June and July, and then, of course, you got the blues that start coming in August, September, October, and along with the sailfish. So, and, of course, the roosters are starting to show up now. And, heard of a 50-pounder being caught in La Paz, up down there by Los Angeles area this past week. So that's good news. Those big roosters are coming in early this year. But anyway, that's a report. Pete, anybody wants to join us on that Loretto trip or any of the trips we sell into southern Baja, mainland Mexico, Central America, South America, give us a call at Cast Tours at 800-593-6510, and we'll talk to you guys next Saturday.
Awesome, man. Well, great report, Cass. Appreciate that as always. Always so complete with the Baja, and we'll look forward to talking next week.
All right, Rick. Take care, man.
Thanks buddy.
Cass,
appreciate that. Hey, want to remind you, focus your offshore fishing in the best areas by using Terrafin water charts. They have temperature, chlorophyll, and more. Terrafin is the professional's choice for dependability and for accuracy. And now with Terrafin Mobile, you can download the latest charts to your iPad, your iPhone, or your Android device. Check Terrafin.com for more info.
All right, let's find out. Let's go ahead and jump back in the phones.
You got it, man. We got some very patient, packed-up callers. Let's talk to Dave. Dave's calling us from Anza. Good morning, Dave. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, everybody. And hey, Tommy and Scott, you have to be two of my favorite people I've met in the sport fishing industry. You know, I try to hit all of your seminars at those Fred Hall shows, and I've learned so much. And, you know, Scott, whenever we have company over for dinner, I always use a sporting chef recipe, and you have made me look like a genius in the kitchen. They're all so good. So, yeah, my question for you, Scott, is... On your shows, Dead Meat and Sporting Chef, you bring in guest chefs and do their recipes sometimes. Where did you ever come across that guy, Buddy, that good old boy from Texas? That guy's a character.
Well, Buddy had called me years ago when we had just started the Dead Meat Show, and he said, man, you need to come to Texas. We got all sorts of stuff nobody wants to eat. And so we went and did alligator gar and jackrabbit and carp and catfish.
Oh, carp.
There was more to it than that. But
Tommy,
a raccoon.
Carp? No.
Okay, so speaking of carp, we were on the Illinois River in Peoria. You know the Asian carp that you see go flying on and hit you in the back of the head and all that? It's exactly like that. You'd start when the fish start jumping, you do hard circles, it stirs them up. They fly out of the water. You've got 20-pound carp hitting you in the back of the head.
Crazy.
We were bow fishing for them, and so it's a very low percentage shot. If you can imagine on a platform doing hard circles with a bow, trying to hit a flying fish in the air.
But fortunately, a bunch
of them jumped in the boat. I think we actually stuck 3 out of the however many ended up in the boat. We took him to a deli in Chicago. The guy pulled the skin off, some of the bloodline, and just ground the whole thing, bones and all. Made fish cakes out of it. They were great.
Really?
So if you've ever got, I mean, the bones are, you know, it's just calcium, and you grind it until they're gone. And so if you ever have that, if you ever got a bony fish, whether it's shad up here in Northern California or something like a carp, and I'm pretty sure people listening right now are not thinking, man, we need to do that with our next carp.
Let's go get some carp, yeah. I mean, I could see that with maybe some rockfish, huh, Tommy?
Yeah, grind it. Use the whole fish, man.
That's your deal.
There is
Tommy likes
nothing
full
like
utilization.
Whole rock cod, man. That is just like, I mean, whenever I fillet a rock cod, I always think, what a waste, man. We're wasting so much because it's so good.
We do
cook a whole rock cod. Yeah,
we're changing that though.
Yeah. All right. Through Fishmonger.
Yeah.
Teaching people.
That's cool.
All right. Hey, thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate it.
Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming right, including a lot of your phone calls and text. You stay tuned. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
Your vacation bucket list can't be completed without visiting the Katmai Lodge, Alaska this summer. A world-class wilderness fishing paradise on the banks of the famed Alagnak River. Get in the action, fishing for all 5 species of Pacific salmon, king, sockeye, chum, coho, plus trophy-sized rainbow trout, Arctic grayling and Dolly Varden, both in the Alagnak and nearby waters. Katmai Lodge's Coast Guard and CPR-certified guides are fly fishing fanatics and know how to help you reel them in, ensuring your days are fish-filled while you enjoy freshly prepared snacks and barbecued lunches on the river. Back at the lodge, enjoy fireside appetizers and refreshments each afternoon. Delicious dinner prepared by the lodge's exceptional chef. Take a quick fly-out trip to Brooks Falls in Katmai National Park for world-renowned bear watching. And check out our trout fishing specials at katmai.com. That's Katmai.com. Katmai.com.
Hey, it's time to talk about great gear from Shimano. And, you know, new things are hard to come by these days, but Shimano's got a new reel that is totally applicable to what we do, and that is the new jigger, right?
Yeah, the Osea jigger. The line of jiggers are reels that have been available on the Shimano Japan side of things, but never available from Shimano USA, and now they are. And that 4,000 jigger, it's awesome. I mean, if you're familiar back in the days of your Trinidad 40 Gold, which is never available in the new series, it's akin to that. It's very similar to the size of a narrow 40, but the Osea jigger boasts huge gear power, a much larger handle, and with all of this knife jigging and flat fall fishing becoming so popular, Osea jigger is a real purpose built for that. Lots of power, star drag. It's different. It has a spool lock feature on the left-hand side where it's a mechanical lock to the spool where it basically doesn't use the drag to utilize stopping the reel. I mean, you put a mechanical lock and it does not move. No line comes off the reel.
Wow.
Very, very different handle, very long, lots of power, but still very comfortable, fits in your hand, and all of the features that you're used to in Trinidad. Osea is a rad reel, and that Jigger 4000 is a very cool size.
Go check it out at your local Shimano dealer. Cutwater Spirits celebrates those who work smarter, not harder, and know that enjoying a bar-quality cocktail is as easy as cracking open a can. No mixing required. We cut out that step for you. Made in San Diego with our real award-winning spirits, Cutwater canned cocktails are ready to enjoy, ready when you are. All you got to do is choose your cocktail, such as our fan favorites like our lime margarita, tiki rum mai tai, vodka mule, or mango margarita, or try them all. Please enjoy responsibly.
Seasoned long-range fishermen know that the Red Rooster 3 is the finest fishing vessels in terms of technology, design, speed, comfort, and safety. This 105-foot sport fishing yacht meets every demand for comfort while delivering an unforgettable fishing vacation. Captain Andy Cates and crew are experienced, friendly, and sincere in their desire to help you have the trip of a lifetime. Book a trip on the Red Rooster 3, and you'll be back. Trips go fast. So check redrooster3.com or call Lee Palm Sport Fisheries at 619-224-3857.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning, talking fishing with the boys. This has been a great show.
Scott Leysath, the sporting chef, and so much more. And Tommy Gomes, the fishmonger, man. Fun show. You have a great text.
I do, yeah. This one was geared towards Tommy. Hey, I happen to be an uni lover, but the price has been crazy, and my local sushi bar is now charging $18 a serving. Woo. What are my options in markets versus online? And also, a question for Tommy, how is the urchin doing off our coast? That's all from Larry in Carlsbad.
You know, that's a great question, too. So Catalina Offshore Products is still processing sea urchin. Our kelp beds are not what they used to be. They're not as healthy as they were even as long as 5 years ago, let alone longer. And so some of the best bets that you can do is go down to the docks, talk to your urchin divers, and see if you can buy direct from them. And 99% of them will sell you sea urchin direct. If you go online and you see how to crack them with 2 spoons, a rubber band, and a wine cork, you put the wine cork between the 2 spoons like the hinge, and then you use a rubber band to hold it in place between 2 spoons back to back, and then you shove the spoons in the sea urchin upside down, squeeze it like you would a vice grip, and it'll pop the sea urchin open. You can get in there and harvest out the gonads of the sea urchin. I mean, our ocean's changing. There's no doubt. The commercial fishermen and the sport fishermen up and down the coast are seeing it, and they are the best readily available science for what is really, truly going on our local waters. And sea urchin is definitely one of them, as our kelp beds are, they're just not as healthy as they used to be.
No, they're not. Tommy, I know you know, Fishmonger's a lot about the characters in sport and in commercial fishing that do that. And I know there's one guy that I'm sure you know. I see him all the time when I'm going surfing. He's in a small boat. He's an urchin diver, older fellow, kind of a tan boat. Who am I talking about? He's like right here.
I know. I see him every morning. He sells sea urchin right there off of his boat.
And he sells
to
it
him every day, and you got me now, and it's right here on the tip of my tongue.
But that's an amazing story, because I look at this guy. He's diving for sea urchins. He's got to be in his 60s or 70s, right?
Those older divers, they walk really slow along the docks, and they're hurting, and their bodies aren't the same. But as soon as they slide in the water, they're like a harbor seal.
Yeah.
And by the way, Tommy has the best sea urchin story that I know of. And Tommy, I really think you should tell the sea urchin story.
Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, sure.
He's cringing, Scott.
Come on. I had my daughter with me for quite a while, and she moved out and moved on, and my buddies kept telling me that I need to start dating. And so I met this woman. We met for coffee, and I had this night all lined up. I called Kiyo's Sushi Bar, was the oldest one in San Diego at the time, and Kiyo-san is a very good friend of mine, and he had it all set up, and I had another spot down the road. I called a buddy who had a limo. He picked her up and met me for coffee. And everything went well. I said, "Do you want to continue this?" She said, "Absolutely." The limo took us to Kiyo-san's. We went to Kiyo's and we started eating, and I ate some sea urchin. And I wasn't feeling very well after that. And I was manufacturing uni butter and uni goop, and I was working at Catalina Offshore, and I was handling a lot of uni at the time. Unbeknownst to me, that one piece had kicked off an extremely allergic reaction. And so I got up and excused myself, and it was coming out of both ends. And when I came back to the table, I looked like alfalfa. My hair was plastered down. I was sweating.
That's brutal.
I was white as ghost. And Kiyo-san says, "Tommy-san, are you okay?" I go, "Oh, yeah, I'm good," And meanwhile, I'm, coughing sticky rice out my nose, and it was, I got to get up and I got to go in the bathroom again. I come out, and this time my shirt stuck to me, and I'm not good. And I said, "Look, I don't know what happened here, but I'm sorry. I need to have the limo take you home. I'd like to continue this at another time, but I'm not feeling well." This is on a Friday night, okay? 5th and F Street, downtown gas lamp. We walk outside, the limo pulls up, down goes Frazier. I wake up the next day in the hospital.
Get out of here.
Yeah. I woke up the next day in the hospital. Never did see her again. She never called to check on me or anything, right? And then a couple days later, I went back to work, and the uni was coming out of the processing room, and they were these big, fat, golden tongues. And I went, "Oh, yeah, I'm going to take one of those," and popped one of those in my mouth. And 30 seconds later, I was like, "This is not good. I don't know what happened. I'm allergic to uni," and went into the restroom, and that was it. That was the last
So
time.
you're allergic to uni?
Yeah, and then we're filming up in Fort Bragg with my friend Tom Trumper, who has Pacific Rim Seafood, and he's a uni processor, and Scott's trying to get me to eat uni on camera. I'm like,
Scott, come on.
I thought that would have been great TV. Tommy craps his pants.
Oh my God! You have a follow-up on uni text, right?
Exactly that. Yeah, it was from our buddy Ralph in Menifee. He just wanted to ask Tommy if you could talk a little bit about uni butter, how it was created, and if it's still available.
It's still available. I'm having a hard time getting one of the main ingredients now, and believe it or not, I'm getting a hard time getting the plastics just because of the shipping, what's going on with the pandemic and everything. It's still around. Takes quite a while to get a batch done because I have to get one of the products processed because I'm no longer working for a processing company that was doing that stuff. It came about because back in the day, I mean, we were doing the San Diego Bay Bass tournament with the San Diego anglers, and I tried to build a better mousetrap, and it worked great.
It's awesome stuff. Yeah, it works really well.
There was a kid on the Stardust. I believe it was the Stardust out of Dana Landing at the time. He used to hang bags of the uni goop, which was the raw stuff, off his anchor. And then we did my 50th birthday party we did on the Fisherman 3. And I had a skiff run down. I marked it on a chart, run down and drop the uni goop. We used to call them uni bombs, but we had to change the name because of the whole 9/11 thing, which is another story. But we had a skiff drop the uni goop all over. And JD was running it. One of the deckhands before we left is like, I don't want to go to the South Bay. I'm a fisherman, and I fish the kelp. And I'm like, dude, this is going to be an epic trip. Get on the boat. Because I had hot sticks from everywhere. And Ed Zaralski and Dave Morgan. And, I mean, I think Corey Sandin was – everybody was on the boat. Anyways, we went down there, and everybody had the uni butter, and uni goop was set out there. 63 different species harvested, including bonefish, legal halibut, turbits. I mean, we caught everything that was back there.
63 species.
63 different fish, including a seagull. And JD put it on the board.
He put
every fish that we caught on the board and the numbers. So it was an epic day, man. It was just some of those things, you know.
Yeah. Hey, cool. Scott Sherman's on the line. Good morning, Scott.
Hey, Scott.
Shermanator.
Hey, good morning, guys. I've heard who was going to be on the show today and had to call in and say hi and congratulations to both of these gentlemen for their hard work and their success and what they've accomplished. I mean, I remember Scott from back in the days of fishing La Jolla and the kayak, and Tommy and I've known each other for quite some time, and the success is very deserving. I mean, Tommy's been a mainstay in the industry, been helping everybody out, and what he's done for charity work and kids, and just wanted to say thank you so much for what you've done for everybody and for the industry.
Well, thanks, Scott. And
thank you.
Right back at you, man. I mean, you've done a lot for the city, and you know, I support you 100%. You know that, and if you ever need anything from me, all you got to do is ask, bro.
There you go. Hey, Scott.
Well, we'll talk about some fish. When is your special discount, buddy?
Yeah.
Hey, can you tell people where your new market is going to be located and that type of thing, so we can be down there on opening day and support you?
Yeah, we're down 4904 or 4909. My buddy Mitch is going to kill me on this one. I can never remember the address. We're at Driscoll's Wharf, just down the boardwalk from Jimmy's American Tavern Pizza Nova, the hot offices of Let's Talk Hookup. Just down that boardwalk there at the commercial basin of America's Cup Harbor at Driscoll's Wharf. There's plenty of parking down there. Should be open within the next couple of weeks. We're looking for a few key staffing members. And we're going to get up and running, and we're going to rock and roll. It's going to be a little bit different. There's going to be some fun and exciting things going on. We will be dry aging our local fish in there, and we have a complete lineup of some super cool tinned fish because it's not just sardines and mackerel anymore in a can. There's some really cool, delicious stuff out there. We'll be making our own ceviches and our own salads and our own pokies and doing stuff like that. We won't be having any hot food. I mean, we're not competing with John and the boys at Point Loma Seafoods. We're all working together, and Mitch has a restaurant right there. We're not trying to do any hot food and stuff like that. The goal, my personal goal for this whole thing, is to make this area, which once was a Star-Kissed unloading dock and a commercial ice house here and all the commercial boats and stuff, my goal is to make this waterfront at America's Cup Harbor San Diego seafood destination location. Whether you want to go catch it yourself on one of the sport fishing vessels, or you want to come down and eat it, or you want to come down and buy it, this is going to be the place to do that here in the city of San Diego, along with the port's blessing. I hope to make this happen.
That's cool.
4904.
49.
Did you look it up?
It's basically Driscoll's Wharf, right down from Jimmy's and
Mitch
is going
to kill me. I mean, it's just like, my God.
Hey, Scott, thanks a lot for the call this morning. Russ from Mesa has a good question. He says, and it's a good question for the right guy. Scott and Tommy, what size knife do you like for Yellowtail, and what kind of steel? A flex or a rigid?
Great question.
Yeah, I think that's more directed probably at Tommy, right?
You know, the classic Forstner's 802 10-inch, 12-inch blade. I mean, the sport fishing deckhands.
8 to 12.
Yeah, I've been working with those forever and ever. I have a filleter. There's a difference between a filleter and a cutter. I have a filleter, a master filleter, who uses a very long, skinny, stiff knife that's been ground down to his specifications. And, you know, it all depends on me. If I'm doing an event and showing a breakdown of a whole fish and utilization of a whole fish, I'm using more than one knife. It's more for the showmanship.
So you're more rigid than Flex. Yeah. And it's interesting, too. I mean, you talk about individual cutters use individual knives. They have their preferences. Look at Raymond over at Fisherman's Processing and the 6S that from Anza. Yeah, it's just like a skinny. Yeah,
there's guys that use that.
Yeah. It's just like Tommy said it best. You take an overall from the guys that cut a lot of fish, the sport boat fleet, and 95% of them use a curved blade Forstner. The only difference is whether they want a wooden handle or a plastic handle. The blade shape is the same for everybody, for the most part. The size is a little bit varied depending on they're cutting small fish or big fish, but all the fleet uses the same thing. But the guys who cut for a living all have a different style.
I have a $7,000 tuna sword, custom made from a knife maker up in Vista, Melio Knives. $7,000.
Wow.
This thing is beautiful. I mean, it will break through and bust down a 300-pound tuna, one long, beautiful slice, and it's just absolutely gorgeous to work with. But you're not going to use it every day.
Yeah.
You know, I watched
It's a showpiece.
Yeah, and it works out well. I actually loaned it to a guy, I'm not going to mention his name, to break down a swordfish at a commercial convention, and he went to break down a swordfish with it, and I watched him take this knife and whack through the tailbone, and I just cringed, and I was like, you have got to be kidding me. And afterward, I walked up and said, that'll be the last time you ever touch a real knife.
Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. More great stories and more your questions and phone calls. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Southern California Sport Fishing Voice on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
Are you passionate about fishing and the great outdoors, but not quite sure where to go? Look no further than Queen Charlotte Safaris in pristine British Columbia, Canada. Hello, this is Valerie Hoprich. There's so many reasons to join us on your next fishing adventure. A few of the highlights are fishing in protected, calm waters. Very important. Quality Chinook salmon run all season long. After you've caught your salmon, we're going to go out for the great Pacific halibut, lingcod, rockfish, and Dungeness crab. Our beautiful lodge overlooks Shingle Bay and Sandspit, and it's so easy to get to. Fly from almost any airport into Vancouver and then on to Sandspit. Fish processing, your fishing license, your gear, all included. Just bring that fishing arm and that smile. Let our chef pamper you with amazing meals while our staff gives you wonderful hospitality, all included in your Queen Charlotte Safaris package. Give me a call on our toll-free number, 1-877-815-2892, or go to our website, qcsafaris.com.
The name that stands out among anglers is Fisherman's Landing, your top choice in local and long-range fishing. Hi, this is Doug Kern. Our hardworking crew will make sure your fishing experience is one to remember. We offer the finest open party trips from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet is second to none. Fisherman's Landing is a full-service operation offering great half-day trips on the Dolphin and full-day open party trips on the spacious and comfortable Liberty. Since we introduced the full-day trips at Fisherman's Landing, the 85-foot Liberty has become a favorite among full-day operations with bunks for your comfort, huge bait capacity, and RSW fish holds to keep your catch fresh. Plus, Liberty has a big modern galley and 2 interior heads with showers. All our open party trips from half-day, full, or 1 to 3 day trips can easily be booked online at fishermanslanding.com or give us a call at 619-221-8500. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
There are plenty of boat slips and marinas in San Diego, but there's only one Kona Kai. It's not just a place to park your boat. It's a way of life here in America's finest city. The Kona Kai Resort Spa and Marina has multiple swimming pools and a private beach, waterfront restaurants, and award-winning spa, most of which is included for marina tenants. Check resortkonakai.com for more information. The Kona Kai Resort, much more than just a place to park your boat.
The future comes standard at your San Diego County Ford dealers, so swing on by and check out the legendary Ford F-150, the smart and capable Ford Ranger, and the all-new Ford Bronco Sport. New inventory is arriving daily, and your San Diego County Ford dealer is here to help you build and order the truck or SUV of your dreams. Want to make sure you get the right truck to tow your boat? They'll help you order the right configuration to meet your needs. Want to make sure you get the right SUV to haul your gear on your next adventure? They've got you covered there too. Escape, Edge, Bronco Sport, Explorer, and Expedition. They've got the SUV that's perfect for you. If it isn't on the lot, they'll order it and get you exactly what you need. They want your trade, so swing by your nearest San Diego County Ford dealer or visit buyfordnow.com to see all the great deals. They'll be glad to hook you up.
When you want to catch big bluefin tuna, you need Shimano. Hi, this is Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle, the saltwater tackle professionals. The Shimano Beastmaster is the pinnacle of electric reels. Shimano's Gigamax motor packs a winding strength up to 250 pounds, ideal for kite fishing and more. Shimano's butterfly flat-fall jigs are irresistible to bluefin tuna because they stay in the strike zone longer. Shimano makes a complete line of butterfly flat-fall jigs to target your favorite game fish. For all your Shimano needs, visit us at Fisherman's Landing Tackle at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.